places, and I just wanted to mention this, right? Because there's a lot of everyone's sort of saying Amazon USA is a big thing, the big deal. But there's huge amount of opportunity here in Amazon Australia, and there's a lot of people selling in America. A lot of people selling in America. In Australia, there isn't a lot, so there's actually a bigger opportunity. This is what I believe. I believe there's a bigger opportunity here in Australia than there is in America. All right, so I've got, by the way, Amazon Australia opened here, and I was just looking this morning actually at a few different products. But there's a lot of products here on like, for example, let's just go down to a product, right? All right, you could pick any product here, whether it's the rice cooker or the slow cooker or the knives, or even electronics, or even these products here, right? You could really choose any of these. Now, in America, there'll be a lot more people selling these particular products. 100%, I guaranteed, a lot more people in America because they've got a big population. And that's solely it, right? Amazon's been there for a lot longer. There is a big population over there. And there is, in Australia, what you'll find is there'll be a lot less people selling these products here in Australia, because it's just a smaller market. It's a lot less people in Australia selling these products. There's just a smaller market, so there's less sellers. But the reason I reckon there's a big opportunity here in Australia is because, first of all, we are closer usually to manufacturers, right? It's just across the sea, essentially, right? If you're dealing with China, most of the time you will be dealing with China. You don't have to deal with China. You can do Bangladesh, you can do India, you can do Thailand and Taiwan and Bali. You can even do Balinese products, which is something I did about a decade ago. So you can do any country products, but most people would deal with China. We are closer to China than the Americans are, and even Europe, right? It's usually faster to ship here than any other country because it's closer, right? It's usually cheaper because the shipping time is much smaller, and we're closer. The shipping is usually, not always, but usually, most times, it's going to be cheaper as well, okay? In America, now I know there's something happening of Australia and China right now, but it's usually, China's increased some taxes of people shipping, wine and stuff to China, but it's not the other way around. Australia hasn't increased taxes, so it's actually still cheap to bring stuff in from China. In America, there's something called the Trump tax, so it's actually more expensive taking stuff to America because there's a higher tax rate, right? We won't get too complicated here. Usually it's quite simple, but just a little bit more. It's just, what I'm trying to say is it's actually expensive. It's more expensive for America, not that much more, but it is more expensive. It's longer shipping times, and basically it's a bigger market. Whereas Australia, there is opportunities in Australia because we are a smaller marketplace. There's fewer sellers here. We've still got a pretty big population, 25, or I think it's 30 million population. There's a big population here, and on top of that, the growth that we've had, like Melbourne, as you know, had a very harsh lockdown. And that's forced a lot of people to go online and shop because they had nowhere else to go. They had to go online. They had to buy their stuff from online, right? So they were forced to go and shop. And I've probably said this to you, and you've heard this before, but Amazon did achieve a record growth rate. They achieved 4 years growth in a 3-month period. And they locked down Melbourne when the government even locked down Sydney, right? People were forced to go online, and they were forced to buy and shop online. So there's never really been a better time to just launch something up on Amazon and sell on even online in general, because people now have formed these new habits. People that normally wouldn't shop online, that would normally go to a store, like they could not do that in Melbourne. They actually had to go online and buy their stuff online, right? And even this morning, I was out this morning and I was walking around, and like, it's sad. I'd say probably 25% of the stores are actually shut down, of the shops, right? Because they couldn't obviously deal with it, which is very unfortunate, right? So there's a lot more people online, and being an online seller, it's been a bit of a blessing, really, being an online seller, because you're not really affected that much. You don't have to pay the rent like they're paying down there, which is very sad. But the Melbourne retail, Melbourne CBD, on Burke and Queen Street and all that, like they say 25% of businesses in Melbourne won't be returning to the CBD because they're just out of business. They're shut down or they're out of business. So everyone's going online. More people are going online than ever before. All right. So it's actually a really good thing for Amazon. So Amazon Australia has achieved record growth, 4 years growth in a 3-month period since March, and they're just growing even more. So there's a big opportunity. So before you launch in America or any other marketplace, look at Australia first, because Australia, we've got a pretty decent ecosystem here. We've got awesome customers, and launch here first. Test the market first, but launch here first. There's a big opportunity here. All right. So that's it. Quick video. Quick 5-6 minute video. All right. Just wanted to say hi, and hope you're looking after yourself in this festive period and staying safe. And yeah, I'll talk to you on another day. All right. Just a quick